Hi, it's George again. I just thought I would give an update. I just thought I would talk about how to have peace in this pandemic. First of all, for me, I just always believe God's in control. He's in control of my life, and what's going to happen is going to happen. I'm in my 60s now, and after fretting about a lot of things over my life, I've realized that, somehow everything works out. And everything actually usually works out for the better. I realized that someday that I'm not going to be here anymore because things didn't quite work out, but in another sense it did work out because I'm going to be home where I'm going to be called to. It's funny how many Christians actually are really longing to be home with Jesus, but at the same time they're afraid actually of dying. So it just seems to be a bit of a dichotomy there. I had a Christian this week that asked me when I was just doing some pastoral connections. He said, Pastor, do you think the vaccine will have the chip in it? Do you think that we'll have to refuse it, like the Bible says? And I said, no. And I said, and furthermore, my advice is stop listening to the podcasts and whatever social media you're listening to that is saying those kind of things. Because first of all, it's just causing stress in your life. It's just causing a lot of anxiety, and it's not very helpful. We are in stressful times. And stress is a big robber of energy. It reduces our immunity. It helps us to not sleep as well. So it just is really, if you think about having a lower immunity, what we need right now in this pandemic is a strong immunity to fight off anything that may come our way. So we don't need all that anxiety and stress. And last week I think I showed you that 8% of what we actually worry about is legitimate, and the rest isn't. So I think one of the things that I find too is that a lot of Christians always are looking for prophecies, and they want prophecies about what's all going on. And somebody asked me the other day, do you have any prophecies, or have you heard any good prophecies about this? And quite frankly, I am quite leery about prophecy. I believe in prophecy. I believe it's there for edification, and I think it's good. Like when I think of Acts 2 or Acts 11, 27 to 29, Agabus prophesied there was going to be a famine. And as soon as they found out there was going to be a famine, the first thing they did was they raised a bunch of money and they gave it to the region that was going to have the famine. The purpose was to help and edify. It wasn't to freak everybody out and scare them. And I think so often Christians just want to somehow fearmonger. The mark of the beast is like if you think about it, people have been worried about the mark of the beast for over 2,000 years. The first mark of the beast was a Roman coin because it had the head of Caesar on it. So they said that was the mark of the beast. And then what was one of the things about the mark of the beast? It says no one can buy or sell without the mark of the beast. Well, that makes perfect sense that it was that coin. And ever since then, for the next 2,000 years, we've been worried about the mark of the beast. And so really, and the other thing too is with this virus, if this virus was the mark of the beast, what about all the other viruses? Or actually it was a vaccine. If this vaccine is going to have the mark of the beast in it, what about all the other vaccines? So I'm thinking, like, why do we even go there? Why do we even worry about that? Why are we always trying to look for the negative? Like in Romans 8, verse 31, it says, what shall we say to these things? If God is for us, who is against us? God is for us. He wants us to prosper. Yeah, we live on earth, and the earth isn't perfect, so we're going to have imperfect things happen. We're going to have plagues. We're going to have famines. We're going to have lots of things that happen because it's just part of the natural process. Forest fires are actually really good for the forest in the long run. I was just listening to a podcast about how we don't have forest fires so much anymore, and that's how a lot of these diseases can actually go on. Like even like things like Lyme disease and stuff, because there isn't forest fires once in a while just to wipe things like that out. So we look at things like forest fires as a negative, but God has a lot of things that is purging in his plan. So we need to just not worry about things. Things are scary right now. We don't know. The biggest problem is what's going to happen. Is it what's going to happen health-wise? I mean, I have an uncle right now who has COVID, and he's in the hospital. He's one of the ones in Sarnia. And he was actually getting a lot better. Then all of a sudden he took a turn for the worst, and now he's on a ventilator in an ICU. And they were talking about him coming home. That's scary. Yeah, I don't want to lose my uncle. And maybe I won't. Maybe I will. It's hard to say. We just don't know. And that's what's hard about this whole thing. We just don't know. We also don't know what it means financially. What's it going to do to our economy? What's it going to do to my job? What's going to do to, my neighbor's job? What if my job's okay, but everybody else's isn't? Then how's it going to work? And we can just go on and on about all these things. In Joshua 1:9, God said, "Have I not commanded you to be strong and courageous? Do not be frightened and do not be dismayed. For the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." God is with us. He is for us. In Luke 12:7, Jesus said, "And the very hairs on your head are all numbered." He even knows how many hairs are on your head. And if you're bald, of course, that would be easy to figure out. But even then, you got a few nubs, and he knows how many nubs you got. So don't be afraid. You are more valuable to God than a whole flock of sparrows. I know that I'm in the Lord's hands, and I know that the Lord is my shepherd, and I have everything that I need. I'm not going to be going before my time. This pandemic will pass. All my problems in before have passed, and they pretty well, everything has worked out for the better. There will be some casualties, there will be some negatives, and there will be some positives from this. And we'll have whatever we choose. If I want to choose to focus on the negative, this whole thing is going to be one big negative for me. If I choose to focus on the positive and the whatever's going to happen that's going to be for the good, then that's what's going to live, and that's what's going to be my mind. It's going to be whatever story that I remember. So for me today, I want to live in the present. I want to enjoy right now. I want to enjoy my house. I want to enjoy my wife. I want to enjoy my puzzle. I want to enjoy my cat. Even though my cat puked on my floor yesterday and I had to clean it up, I'm just glad that I can be present in that moment. So don't worry. Now, one of the things about God being in control, my wife and I are a little bit at odds with that, because she doesn't like it, because she'll say things like, well, what about, this kid that died in a car accident? You're going to tell me that God did that? And I just say, honey, God is in control of my life. I take great comfort in that, and that's how I get through stress-free I just know that God is in control, and if he's not, then we're all in trouble. So he's in control, he's got a plan, he's working that plan, and this thing in life is just going to be short, and it's going to be a blip. And yeah, we're going to have things that are bad, that seem bad. But even if you think like viruses build up our immunity systems, and they help us also get ready for other things. Like, we knew this pandemic was going to come. All the experts have been telling us, but we just didn't worry about it. And now it came, and it's not really the worst one. It's not, if you consider it like the bubonic plague and some of those, like, this one's actually pretty mild. And so this to me is like a great wake-up call. It's also a great wake-up call that, we have to take better care of the earth. Because, for some places, they see blue skies for the first time. I saw a map of nitrous oxide in the world, and I saw what it looked like a month ago, and I saw what it looks like today, and like places over in Europe, like over in Paris, it's a stark difference in how much less nitrous oxide there is in the atmosphere over Paris today than there was even a month ago. So it doesn't take much for us to clean our earth up. And I think, there's so many people that die from pollution, that there's probably more people that die from pollution every year than that are going to be dying from this pandemic. So there could be a lot of things that come good out of this. We don't know. And we don't need to judge. We just need to be present. We just need to be, enjoy each other's company, do what we can. Right now I'm staying home, and I'm doing my part. I'm also trying to keep contact with people through Facebook and through phones. And if you're one that would like a call, or just let me know. I do check my Facebook a little bit more often than I used to. And you can always call the church and get my contact number, and I'd be happy to contact you. So be courageous, be strong, for the Lord God is with you. He is not against you, and God is in control, and you're going to make it. God bless you. Have a great day.